to another episode of Airgun Detectives. I'm JC and I'm your host, and today we get to take the mystery out of the Air Arms S500xs PCP rifle. This one is in .177 caliber. Before we get into the details on that, do me a favor, hit that little subscribe button right down there in the corner. It's absolutely free, doesn't cost you anything, but it really helps out our channel. And we want to keep doing what we're doing, and the more support, the better off we're going to be. So I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe. In addition to that, don't forget, I hooked you guys up with those Firearm Guards. Those are those blocks that capture moisture, and they're great to put in your gun safe, or I have one in my gun display case. I also have one in my sweaty gym bag too, and it actually works really, really well. So there's a promo code AIRGUN, and you'll get free shipping on that. So enough of that, let's get back to the rifle. First of all, let's talk about our Air Arms here. I want to first thank Mike Millick of Flying Dragon Air Guns. He's the one that actually sent us this rifle so I could share it with you. So I appreciate him loaning us the rifle. Anyway, let's talk about this rifle. By the way, if you didn't know, Air Arms, when it comes to PCP and this rifle, this is like the Rolls Royce of the PCP rifles. These are amazing. These run around $1,000, to be honest with you. They won't run around $1,000. And they even have more of an updated version of these now that actually have a magazine. This is a single shot version. Okay, let's talk about this. First of all, number one thing on this has a Lothar Walther barrel, which is the best barrel made. So the accuracy on this is incredible. This one actually has a walnut stock, which is the highest end of the stocks, and this one is actually right-handed. If you'll notice, it's got the raised cheek piece on the left side, which is great for all you right-handers. Us left-handers, doesn't work so well. However, we're going to make it work today, that's for sure. All right, you have a two-stage trigger on this thing that is just absolutely incredible. You know, we're going to go through and we're going to test that out. So this one, again, I'm going to repeat, it's in .177 caliber. This is a side lever cocking. This is a single shot. So you pull the lever back, obviously, you're going to load your pellet in and then push the lever forward. You can decock it, which I'm going to do right now. In addition to that, this has a 288 cc air reservoir right here, and basically you fill it right through here. You unscrew this, the filler's underneath there, and then you hook it up to your scuba tank or your air pump or what have you. And you actually fill this one to 250 bar, which is 3,625 psi. So this one goes up to 250 bar. They say you'll get about 60 good shots out of it. Now, the trick thing on this is a regulated gun. However, it has a 5-position power setting. If you'll notice right here, there's a 5-position power setting. So you can go to full, or you can click it all the way down to the minimum. And we're going to show you what the difference is. We'll talk about it as far as what velocity is on that. They say this averages about 1,035 feet per second. The gun itself, this one weighs a little over 7 pounds. It's because it's got the heavy walnut stock. The barrel on it is 19 inches long, and the overall length of this is about 43 inches. Yeah, this is something else. This rifle is pretty amazing. I'm glad we're going to have the opportunity to test it out, because again, this is the absolute Rolls Royce. So let's go out and run this through all our tests. Let's just see how well it performs, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. So stay tuned for the next segment. Just for fun, let's see how our Air Arms S500xs does. We're just going to shoot, I'm just going to shoot the lightest, not the lightest lead pellet, but a reasonable 7-grain Meisterkugeln. And let's just see how well this does. We'll shoot 5 shots. We'll just get an average. Have this set on full power. So let's see what we get out of this. Okay, shot number 1. 1134. Shot number 2. 1132. Shot number 3. 1131. Shot number 4. 1135. Wow, what a standard deviation on that, huh? And our last shot here, 1137. Wow, that's some serious velocity. Anyway, so you can see what your average velocity and foot-pounds of energy are. So let's move on to the next segment. All right, let's test out our S500 for some accuracy here. We're our usual 20 yards. Go ahead and take a look at that. Not much of a challenge for this gun from here, but I promise you when we get to the 40-yard plinking, we'll use some really small objects to shoot at. But anyway, I just wanted to demonstrate what type of accuracy you get out of this gun, because this is a very high-end PCP gun. We're going to go ahead and use the JSB Exacts, the 10.34 grain. Again, these and the H&N, the 10.65s work fantastic in this gun. Actually, it's really not pellet picky. You can pretty much almost put any pellets you want in it. But we've got a little bit of breeze going on today, so I'm going to use the heavier pellets. And again, I want to thank Splatterburst for supplying us with the targets. We're going to be using the smaller 4-inch targets today, and we're just going to look at some grouping. So let's just take 5 shots and see how well we do. Alrighty here. Okay. Gotta get ourselves set up because I want to show you guys. I don't want human error to come in here. I want this to be set up just perfect for you. So much for just the perfect. Alright, let's go. Shot number 3. And shot number 4. I told you it's going to be boring. They're all going through the same hole. Shot number 4. And let's just do one more. Shot number 5. Yep, all through the same hole. So I said, yeah, a little boring here at 20 yards, but we'll pick up the challenge a little bit when we move out to the 40 yards for the blinking. All right, stay tuned for the next segment. Okay, so let's see how well our Air Arms trigger does. So we got our trusty Lyman trigger gauge. Let's do a quick pull, see what we get. £1 pound, 10 ounces. 1 pound, 10 ounces. Yeah, pretty amazing trigger, that's for sure. All right, let's move on to the next segment. All right, my favorite portion of any review is obviously the plinking, but we're really going to test this S500. So we're out at our usual 40 yards. Why don't you go ahead and take a look at this. But check that out. There's a dime and some 223 shells on their sides we're going to go ahead and shoot at. So what we're going to use is the JSBs, the heavy Diablos. They're the 10.34. This also performs just as well with the H&N, the 10.65s, but we're just going to use the 10.34s for now. So let's test our luck. Let's start out with a dime, see if we can knock that out of the way, and then we're going to work down to the 223 shells. All right. Hopefully I can find that dime. That was a good luck dime. But this gun is just off the chart accurate. All right, now we'll look at the 223 shells. On the left side. Okay, and the next. I mean, this is you're talking about a high-end PCP here, and that's why I really wanted to show this to you guys. All right. And one more. Yes, I'm hitting the head of a 223 empty brass shell at 40 yards. We got one more. Whoa, that was kind of a nick. Let's get that off the shelf. I don't like to leave targets sitting on the shelf. Alrighty. That's more like it. Yeah, this thing is just unbelievably accurate. It really is. All right, let's move on to our final segment. Let's wrap this up with our conclusion here. No surprises here. When you're dealing with the Rolls-Royce, it performs like a Rolls-Royce, let's face it. Negatives, I do have a negative. I wish this was left-handed. It would have been easier for me to shoot. But other than that, we have no negatives. There's no negatives at all in this gun. This is probably the most accurate air gun I've ever shot. And you saw the group I did. I mean, it was a .12 20 yards. That's nothing. That's nothing. But what was incredible was the 40 yards. I mean, can you see this? That's the dime I recovered. Yeah. And that was the largest of the objects we were shooting. The other objects were .223 casings, which are about the third the size of the diameter of a dime. So yeah, this thing is definitely off the chart when it comes to accuracy. But how could it not be? I mean, with this Lothar-Walther barrel on there, oh my goodness. The power range, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the power range. What I did off camera is I actually ran it through 1 to 85 shots. And I'm going to show you this graph that I put together here in just 1 second, but I'm going to talk to you about it real quick. So we averaged over 1,100 feet per second, roughly, for the first 60 shots. I think we had a high of 1125, somewhere in there, average, and then down to like 1110. So we had 60 regulated shots right from the beginning, which is incredible. And that was at full power. We had this at full power, and I was testing a 7-grain pellet. So, which is a little bit on the lighter pellet. The 10.65s, those shot in the high 900s, just so you know. And I kind of like those a little better, a little more stable in the wind and what have you. But, so the first 60 shots were incredible. So you don't really have to, with a regulated gun, you don't have to worry about a power curve. Now, this does have an adjustment as far as air goes in the transfer port. It's got 5 settings. And basically, if you start out at the highest level, each time you go down, it knocks about 100 feet per second off, roughly. So at your highest setting, you're around 1,100. You go to setting number 4, you're around 1,000. You go down the next one, about 900 and change. You know, high 8s, 900. And your last setting, it would be the mid to high 500s. So you're going to get a lot more shots at that lower level because you're going to be using less air. But it also quiets down. So if you just want to do a lot of plinking in your backyard, you could crank the power down on this, be nice and quiet, and you'd still be shooting well over 500 feet per second. But what an amazing gun. It really is. The entire, I mean, it's just so smooth the way it operates. The trigger is off the chart. It's just incredible. And you saw how it did in the trigger test. I mean, and you can adjust this however you want. It's pretty amazing. What a great gun. It really is. But like I said, this is a Rolls Royce. Not everybody can afford one of those, including me. These are just a little bit too pricey, but I'll tell you, it's a lot of fun shooting this. And I want to thank Mike again for loaning this to us. And if you guys if you want any Air Arms or the Beeman or the Weinrichs, any of those, Mike can get a hold of those. He doesn't just do the Cisco, he does a lot of those other ones. And the great thing is he has the capability to tune those for you too. So if you're interested in any of those, give Mike a call or shoot him an email. So of course this gun is 5 stars. We don't even need to really talk about that. So I want to thank you guys again for tuning in to this episode of Airgun Detectives. It was nice to be able to look at something like this, I have to tell you once again. Don't forget to check out my website at www.airgundetectives.com. I got t-shirts and a couple other things. Still working on those bipods. It's a long story, but still no ETA on them, just so you know. Other than that, don't forget, this is where we take the mystery out of the air gun. So until next time, stay safe, and I hope you have plenty of shooting. Take care.